This is Design on Time, where every episode, a viewer will choose 3 random things that Amy and Jamie will need to incorporate into a new creative project. The objects will be revealed at the start of the episode, and they'll have just 15 minutes to complete the project. Join them as they learn to push their creative limits in a fun and challenging way.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Design on Time. First things first, we are missing our guest host today, Tudor. He's off recording an album. Tudor happens to be my brother, Jamie's brother-in-law. I'm Jamie's husband, Chris. I'm standing in for Tudor today. Sorry to disappoint, ladies. He will be back next week. This week's guest challenger is the great Tim Holtz. Let's see what he has in store for us.
Hey Amy and Jamie, it's Tim Holtz, designer, traveler, and lover of all things vintage. So, my 3 things for you: rubber band, junk mail, and of course, distress ink. You ready to get your ink on? Go!
All right, Tim, we accept your challenge. You girls ready? Let's go!
So I didn't have any idea of how I was going to use the rubber bands. I thought initially maybe I'd wrap it around a tag or a card, but then I realized it might fold. So we started talking about the ink, and I thought maybe if I just use it as a stencil, that maybe with the ink it would leave a cool impression.
That's actually my favorite part of your layout. It looks so cool.
For the junk mail, I initially thought I was going to use the envelope, the return address lines, but I got distracted and saw the catalogs, and I thought I was going to use one title, and then I kept flipping and found We've All Got Our Hang-Ups, which I thought was just perfect for a family of 4. Little journaling subtitle there. The color palette was a little bit of a challenge for me. I think it was pretty bright, and therefore I had a hard time meshing it with my photos, but my kids are kind of in bright clothes and bright backgrounds, so.
So for the junk mail, I decided to take out the Wake Up Your Wanderlust, and I tore it out and used it kind of as a title and put the envelope right over it. So nothing too innovative, but I wanted to make sure to include those. The rubber bands were a challenge for me as well. I really wanted to try to figure out a way to cut them up, but when I cut it, I decided to dip it into the ink and just kind of use it as a splattering tool, and it turned out okay. I really wanted to use the ink in a more typical fashion, so I took the blending tool that Tim Holtz has, and I just made polka dots out of the yellow distress ink. And I really like the way it turned out. I was only going to do one because it kind of looked like the sun, but then I decided to make more polka dots. So it turns out these alpha stickers are great to use, but it takes out a lot of time to peel off the letters and stick them down. So I had to kind of improvise and hand draw the rest of the title.
1. Step back from the table.
Oh!
Overall, I think the misting rubber bands turned out pretty cute. I could see a whole background with that, and I'm glad I got the chance to do it.
The title turns out to be "The World is a Small Town and These Giraffes Have the Best View in the World, Hands Down." Kind of a funny rhyme. But they really do. They're overlooking Sydney Harbor. I mean, it just looks so amazing.
Tim, thank you so much for this week's challenge. I think I'm blown away by what you guys are able to accomplish every episode in such a short amount of time. And Tim, I think what we loved about your challenge for us this week is it was a great reminder that we don't need the latest gadget, the latest product all the time. Sometimes the best things are right in front of us. So we picked up everyday items like junk mail and rubber bands, and they were able to make art with them. So our challenge for you this week, get out there, find what's in your house laying around, and incorporate it into a project and see what you come up with. Don't forget to hashtag what you do with Design on Time. Share it with us on Instagram, Facebook, whatever your social media of choice is, and we will see you all back here next week. Today's guest challenger is the one, the only Tim Holtz. So let's see what he has in store. I realize there's no computer.
Here, no, we have over here.
Oh, we can do that also. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Design on Time. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. Tootsie's looking a little older. Okay.